Hello everybody, and today we got another Elder Dragon for you. Today it's going to be Kushala Daora. Not most people's favorite fight in the game. Some people want it gone, some people think it should never existed, some people think they ruined the fight. I'm going to leave that up to you and make your own decision. I'm not going to try and tell you what I think. Personally, it's not my favorite fight. I've only fought this boss once with the greatsword. You're watching it. I should tell you how well it went. Seriously, hunting horn for days. Makes this fight a joke. With the right one. Alright, so the basics of this fight. There are a number of basics. We're going to be going co-op, I guess I forgot to say. Yeah, the basics of this fight are as follows. As soon as these people stop talking, because they're really adding nothing of value to this, basically you need flash pods. But if you misuse the flash pods, they're about as useful as a kick to the head. You'll notice this more so in randoms. I'll go over it more as we get further into the fight, but as you notice, he loves hovering, and this can be problematic if he does it at a very poor time. I thought I was going to be able to... Oh, there we go. That actually worked. Holy damn. No, it didn't. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know this fight as a greatsword. I've only done it the one time, so... yeah. Thankfully, I don't think there's any more whoopsies, but I might very well be wrong. Anyway, you need flash pods, but you don't want to use them during a certain attack of his. You'll know the attack when you see the attack, because you really don't want to go near that thing. I guess I can just say it, you saw it in the cutscene. You remember he made that big, huge, well, that right there, the big wind tornado thing? That will knock you around if you don't have brace. You don't have the brace skill, that will knock you around, and it just makes life hell. Not right now, because he only has one of them out, but later he gets like 5 or 6 of these bad boys out, and it can be hell. To try... oh my gosh, come on. I tried to be cheeky and get a non-charge true charge. He had none of it. But yeah, this guy... he doesn't like staying still. Like at all. So couple that with the fact that I can't really move through most of it, because if you go anywhere near those things, you just get like staggered. Yeah, that right there, you don't want to do that when he's near the or rather inside of his own I don't know why I just lost my train of thought. You don't want to hit him inside of his own, twister. You really just want to wait until he flies out of it and then flash pod him. Otherwise, no melee can hit him. If you're ranged, I guess it doesn't really matter, but if you're melee, that really screws your day. So be careful of that in online play. You can really kind of screw the rest of the other people. If you're like a light bow gunner and you do that, and then everybody's just like, oh good, I guess we'll just kind of sit here. Don't be that person. All right, don't do that. Don't try and inconvenience everybody else. That's like the only real thing here that you have to worry about as far as etiquette goes online. As far as actually killing the bastard as with the greatsword, dude, I don't freaking know. I basically just grinded him down. And truth be told, it was probably more Glasgow's damage than mine. And you might wonder, why do you insist on doing like all these fights with like an extra person? That just makes their health like 2.6 times as much and lowers your damage by 25%. Exactly. No, really, that's why. I really just wanted as big of a challenge as I could get. So here we are. So I'm not going to complain about it too much. We just like the challenge. And I apparently just never... Well, actually, that was beautiful. Beautiful by Glasgow there, because that sure as shit wasn't me. Set me up there. Unfortunately, I did jack all for really taking advantage of it. I hit a heavily armored part, but hey, at least I'm landing true charges. So if you can keep them on the ground via the flash pods, it's a lot easier. If you can't, things are going to take a turn for the worse. I thought that might stagger me, but I wasn't sure. I'm being a little more cautious now. Okay, so beyond his whirlwinds, which can just do that, he also has something he hasn't used yet. It's kind of like a bodily aura. It's like a, well, that, oh, obviously he has that. I didn't even know about that because I haven't seen it in forever because I usually just flash him out of the sky, but he has an aura, if you will, that you can tell when it envelops him. He has like a little puffy aura around him. If you get near him without negate air pressure, you get knocked back. If you get close enough, you get knocked back. Needless to say, this is exceedingly inconvenient if you're a melee user. And the only way to get rid of it is via the mother-lovin' wind resistance. That's the only way. Now, some people swear up and down to the red in the face that negate air pressure doesn't do anything against Kushala Daora. Stop spreading fake news. Yes, it does. Trust me, I know it does. Because I'll tell you what. Now, what it doesn't do is it doesn't get. You can't walk through his tornadoes. No, you can't do that unless you got brace 3, which I still don't recommend doing that because that'll probably kill you inside of about half a second. But that will, in fact, stop you from getting knocked back from his little aura, and that will keep you from getting knocked back when he takes off. So yes, it has a very big impact, and it is very nice to be able to use it. That right there, you see with that little aura around him? That's what I'm talking about. That negates that entirely if you have that negate aura, negate wind. 5, you have to have 5. 4 is not good enough, you gotta have 5. This was a little bit of an inconvenient place to put it, but you know what? I'm not mad at free hits on his head. I'm a little mad at that though, looking at it. Damn you, stop running. He's never coming back, is he? He's never coming back. I was so optimistic, like he's gonna come right back and he's gonna try and tackle me and I'm just gonna hit. Nope. Nope. Yeah, but you notice I'm just like, I can't move through a lot of this. It's just like, oh my god, this is so annoying. It almost gave me not a heart attack, but it pissed me off pretty good. But not because of its danger, just because of how annoying it is to get around the freaking fighting arena. And this isn't in the worst fighting arena. This is one of the worst, but it's not the worst. The worst is his den area. His den area is the absolute worst. Because it's not that big. You have a big obstruction in the middle that's not big at all, and you don't really want to be up there, but you can be up there if you want. I fought him up there a couple times with Glasgow in the past. I'm thinking, why the hell are we doing this? But it's kind of fun, but I don't recommend it for people that are having trouble with the fight. No, oh my god, I should have tackled. I wouldn't have been... See, this is what we call a wasted thing, because his damned wings, I was like, I'm going to get the swing down no matter what, man. I don't give a damn at this point. I'm getting the swing off. Not through some sense of this is doing the most damage, but out of a sense of pride. I had to get that swing off. You know, it just, you're going to block me the whole time. I'm going to make sure I get it done eventually. But yeah, as you notice, a lot of him is extremely armored. So unless you have a white quality weapon or sharp weapon, which by this point in the game, I don't think you will, but maybe you might, then you're going to have to use your tackle a lot more so that you don't bounce on your strong charge. So you want your true charge, which cannot bounce. That's what you want right there. So a little bit of a learning curve, but this was, again, my first time fighting him in this. I don't remember if he was in 3U. I don't remember a lot of the later bosses. I remember the early bosses. I remember Great Jaggy. I remember Makura Peko. And that damned fishy thing that was like a sponge, but I don't remember much of the later bosses. I don't know if I fought Kushala Daora before this. If he was in 3U, I did. If he wasn't, I didn't. So, basically, you're just giving yourself an excuse of, well, if I'm right, I'm look better. If I'm wrong, at least I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to point out I'm not the most familiar with Kushala, so this is by no means a good run. In fact, I still sometimes struggle to this day with the hunting horn. The reason I love the hunting horn is because I used to use the Xeno Monashima against him. It had the negate all wind pressure. Nowadays, I'd probably use Vero. If you don't know what Vero is, that is the hunting horn from the Pickle, or otherwise known as Devil Ho. So that has, I think, negate all wind pressure and a huge attack increase. I think it also has defense. So it's a really good all-around hunting horn. It's great. The only negative is, of course, the minus 25% crit. Man, can you believe how cheeky I am right here? Oh my god. This is pro play right here, son. Good lord. It just caught me out of nowhere. I was like, I'm just going to meander along and not probably be impressed by anything. And oh, there we go. It's counter set by that. You know, the terrible one. You gotta have light, you gotta have dark, you know, that's the way it is. I don't think that really justifies my absolutely abhorrent true charge there, but that's what I'm gonna go with. This was probably not needed to charge the first one, but I do love that crit draw, so I had to try and take advantage of it. Oh, freaking roar. Some roars have near instantaneous. Kushala, I think, is one of those. It's not instantaneous, but unless you have, like... You basically have to predict tackle that. If you don't predict tackle that, it's very hard to not, well, get caught. Also, if you notice the little air pushing off from under him, you can still hit him with the melee. You just better have a very long-range melee weapon. I don't know how the hell the dual blade's over there, unless he has, like, wind resistance. I don't know how he's standing near it, because you can see that aura around him. And, oh, no, that's fair. Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess I'll just die. But, no, apparently, he decided to let me get up for once. That was not mighty nice of him. Fun fact, for people who might not know, Elder Dragons are in fact sentient. I believe some of them hate humans and some of them, well, I don't think I've ever seen one where they went, oh, let's all have love and peace together. But I think they do have human sentience, for people that are wondering, like they're intelligent. So that just brings up to a whole new level when you're fighting Elder Dragons and they do something really annoying just to try and piss you off and you have to go, oh, you dick. Like, you know they did it on purpose. In lore, anyway. Like right there, you know he's just going, he can't move. Because he's not that good of a fighter. He relies on his prey not being able to move. Like the cunning fish in the barrel. The wily fish in the barrel. I'm sorry, I screwed up the Zap Brannigan quote. I should apologize for that. Like the wily fish. So... we're about more than halfway done with this fight. It doesn't get much worse than this, except for the very final. This is basically the whole fight. You want to have a load of flash pods. You'll notice I haven't used any, and I don't think I ever do, because I didn't really think about it at the time. But you bet your butt, every single time I fought Kushala after this, I bring 13 flash pods. If you don't know 13, you can't carry 13, you can only carry 10. I know. But you know what they're made out of, right? Yeah, carry 10 of those bad boys. You can carry 10 of those bugs, or you can only carry 3 of them. Yeah, you can carry 10 of those bugs, make it 13. Yeah. I think I already said that before, but it does bear mentioning again, because not everybody thinks stuff like that, and it is exceedingly useful in some areas. I got greedy. I didn't think he was going to turn around. I thought he was going to stay turned around. It is exceedingly hard to try and get a true charge off on this thing. He just... maybe because I've only fought him the one time with the greatsword, but good lord. Unless you have, like, full wind pressure resistance, which you probably won't, and if you do, you don't really... The jury's out on whether you want to make a wind resistance suit for this as a greatsword user. I don't advocate for it. But that's... I guess if I actually wanted to use the greatsword, I should. You might go, why? Well, it cuts into your damage a ton. I don't know about you. I don't have a whole load of... I don't even know if that's a decoration. I never got one. I don't have... actually, no. I do have, like, 2. Wind pressure resistance decorations. But if you don't have any of those, you gotta wear like the most mismatched clown suit on this side of the globe. Like seriously, you have like no damage if you go full wind pressure resistance and you don't have the decorations. It's terrible. So I was like, at that point, I might as well just use the damn hunting horn, right? So I'm just gonna do that. At least that has more damage in that case, and it's easier to use. I know I'm bad-mouthing the greatsword. You're probably going, Barok, this isn't you. Who killed you and replaced you with this person? You're bad-mouthing the greatsword. Well, it just don't work as well in some fights. I am ashamed to say that, but it just does not work. I mean, it can still work. It's just going to be a hell of a lot more difficult like this. And a lot more trying on one's patience. But you can do it. I think I'm at a very poor angle. I can't really see. I'm just going to hope I hit. Okay, well, I did, but I was kind of aiming for the head, but I couldn't tell where I was. Can I hit him in the... No. Very fast roar got me. I think I was actually trying to tackle, but for all I know, I wasn't. I like to think I was, but I probably wasn't. Oh, he's almost dead. Thank Christ. I was like, get back here. I don't want to go up there, wherever the hell you're going. But yeah, this is the worst. Everybody agrees this is the absolute worst part of the fight. Mainly due to the area you fight him in. It looks big. It's not. It doesn't feel big. Let's just put it that way. It don't feel very big. Because you've seen those little whirlwinds he puts up. He's put 2 or 3 even up, and it was kind of really annoying. We haven't seen 5 or 6 yet. Believe me, we'll see 5 or 6. Oh yeah, it's every bit as just annoying as fuck that it sounds like. Trust me on that. It is horrible. I'm sure some people would just go, I don't even know how the hell you got through the one fight with the greatsword with this thing. I can't. Like, how the hell you do that to yourself? I don't know. Okay, so this is a very bad place to be in right now. Very poor. You might notice that I was in the middle of a big whirlwind. Well, he puts about 5 of those out. You don't want to sit in the middle of that. I'm surprised I was able to move as well as I did there. Normally, you need like brace 3 to even be able to move through those. I don't recommend you do that, by the way. Just try and move through them. That's that was just kind of funny to watch and frustrating to play, but that was kind of funny. But yeah, the way it works, if you ever use the, what do you call that, the Iron Mantle? No, it's not the Iron Mantle, it's the Rocksteady Mantle. If you use the Rocksteady Mantle against some bosses or some enemies, their hitbox on their tail swipe, for example, might hit 3 times. But you only get hit once normally because you get knocked back and you have invincibility frames. With the Rocksteady Mantle, you get hit all 3 times and you just kind of freaking die. It's the same way for those twisters. You can walk through them, but I really wouldn't never do that if I actually had the other thing. I thought, can I actually land a true charge in the middle of this? No. The game both smacked me back down and said, no. No, you don't get freedom of movement. No. No, it's annoying as piss. Deal with it, basically. Oh, good. Yeah. Thanks for pushing me right there. That's totally where I wanted to hit. Yeah. That was kind of my fault because I didn't notice his head was just kind of moving that way, but I should have. So that is something to think about with Elder Dragons. They can push you out of the way. You got to try and look out. And I guess I should also just put this out there for Greatsword users with Devil Ho. Don't ever try and hit Devil Ho from the front when he's trapped. Just don't freaking do it. I've never been hit from the back. But if you're in the front and Devil Ho's trapped, he will fight back and hit you pretty hard. That's completely unrelated, but I felt that was interesting to note. But you notice there's like 4 of them out right now, at least 3 I saw. So that means those areas are basically off limits, so that really narrows the playing field. It's not nearly as big now, and it's a hell of a lot more tricky to get around without going, oh, my eyes, I got dust in my eyes, and you just kind of put your hand, bring your hands up. That's what I imagine they do when they put their hands to their eyes, like blocking their face, and they're going, oh, my eyes, I got dirt in them, or gravel, or I got something in my eye. I had to introduce a little bit of levity, because, God, this fight pissed me off the first time so much. Like, far worse than Teostra ever did. Far, far worse. For the simple fact that he impedes your movement. I can't stand that. I can't stand things that impede my movement, and this fight is a class leader in that one. So, in essence, essentially, trying and get wind pressure resistance. Personally, I'd recommend just not using the Greatsword on this fight. That is, you'll hardly ever hear me ever say that. I don't use the Greatsword in this fight, except for this time. I never used it again. Well, I used it like one time after when I got full 5 wind pressure, and I was like, this doesn't stop those big tornadoes at all. No, it doesn't. I'm still learning. But you do need the wind pressure resistance, whether that's via a hunting horn, decorations, or whatever, if you're going to use a greatsword. I mean, you don't technically need it. You can theoretically hit from, like, a range when it has that aura up, but goddamn, son, you better be tops in your positioning department, because if you're not, you're going to get knocked back at the worst time in the middle of your true charge. And it will piss you off. So I don't recommend using the greatsword for this fight. I would use the hunting horn, but like, I don't want to use the hunting horn. It doesn't do a lot of damage. Piss off, it doesn't. Yes, it does, if you know how to use it. I never understand people say, it doesn't do a lot of damage. Yes, it does. I guarantee you, it does. The hardest hitting thing I have right now is a hunting horn. My attack power can get up to 1700 with a hunting horn. The max I've ever gotten with a greatsword was like 1400. Now, you would argue that the hunting horn does hit harder because the calculations evolve, because the you know, less attack power with the greatsword probably does more damage than greater attack power with the hunting horn. I'm pretty sure it does, as a matter of fact. But the point is, you can get really high attack power with the hunting horn and still do a load of damage. I don't know why I'm talking about that, but, you know. I guess I'm just saying why I don't want to use the greatsword in that fight ever again. I used it twice, never doing it again. Well, I might do it again, just to, if I feel like hating myself one day. But yeah, that's the only fight in the game I don't use the greatsword on. 100% of the time anymore. I don't use that because it's so annoying to use in that fight. I just go, you know what, I'm just going to hang it up, use my secondary weapon, and just get some practice on it that way. Works a lot better. Maybe for you, you're different. Maybe you're really good at the greatsword in that fight. I'm not. Alright, that's the one I got to concede on a little bit. I got to know my limits. But yeah, next time we're going to... Well, I think I, off-camera, get the investigation for the Rotten Veil done, and then we're fighting Valhazak next time, so that's what we're doing, everyone. Hopefully you found great hilarity in my sucking, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, everybody.